Greetings from the mountains. My name is Noel Isaacs, and today I'd like to congratulate and honor the 30th anniversary of Sacred Assembly in Canada, started by Eliza Harper. Actually, I was contacted by respected Roger Armbuster because I think he read my book called Ordinary People, Extraordinary God. And in fifth chapter, I had mentioned about the story of Eliza Harper and my father, Reverend James Isaacs. I remember I was accompanying my father, James Isaacs, and my friend Mark Tidwell in the spring of 1995. We were traveling across Canada and States for speaking tour, and we ended up in Washington, Seattle, where my dad was to speak in one of the local church. The pastor was a lady pastor, but in her house, we heard that a man and a woman. I think the woman was a very respected former Grand Chief, Linda Prince. She had bought a sick man in Seattle to go to Ben Hinn's conference for healing. So it was Friday, and she took him to Ben Hinn's conference that night and came back without any healing. And it was in the morning that we found that he was not healed, and she was trying to take him back to Canada, but something happened and they had to stay. But my father, Reverend Pastor James Isaacs, felt that the sick person, who was Eliza Harper later, was not sick because of his physical sickness, but it was actually a curse thrown to him, and that curse was killing him. So anyway, to make it shorter, my dad asked Linda Prince to maybe Sunday morning that he bring him to the church where my dad was speaking, and maybe he'll pray for him. But in that moment, she agreed, and Sunday morning, we all went to my father's friend's church, and the pastor was a lady pastor. It was near the ocean, and Eliza Harper was sitting in the front bench. And as my father, Pastor James Isaacs, started speaking, he said to Eliza Harper that you have to give your life to Jesus in order for you to be totally free from the curse that is thrown upon you. And my dad said from the pulpit to Eliza Harper, would you please stand and start walking towards the pulpit? Some people try to help him, but my father says, no, let him walk. But Eliza Harper, who was so sick and in deathbed till that moment, slowly started standing and taking each steps towards the pulpit. And we're all surprised that he was not able to walk. But when my dad said, Jesus is healing you as you walk towards the pulpit. So as he started walking towards the pulpit, and my dad said that you need to give a life to Jesus, Jesus is going to free you from all the curses that's thrown upon you. I was a young boy following my dad, so it was a miracle to me that even the words of his mouth coming was impacting the life of Eliza Harper. So he walked towards the pulpit. When he reached the pulpit, he was standing. And my dad says, Jesus has healed you. Jesus has gave you freedom from the curses. Now you need to take water baptism. So that'll be total conversion. So my dad asked him, would you like to take water baptism? And he said, yes. Would you like to follow Jesus? Yes. Would you like to give your life to Christ and serve him? And he said, yes. So after the church service, my dad and the pastor, we all took him to my dad's pastor friend's house. And in that tub, in their bathroom tub, my dad baptized Eliza Harper in the water. And as he came out of the water, he was totally free and he was back to his normal strength. And he was healthy And then later we understood and knew about who he was. He was Elijah Harper, who famously killed the Miss Lake Accord in Canada to set something for his people. So those stories are in chapter 5 of this book, but I heard that he later went back with respected former Grand Chief Linda Prince. She helped him start Sacred Assembly in Canada, which is still helping the people, the Native people in Canada. And many times I came to Canada, in Winnipeg, and helped and prayed for the Native people. And somehow, the Native people of Canada and our tribe is kind of similarities there. So I thank Jesus, and I thank all the good people of Sacred Assembly in Canada. I thank respected Linda Prince. And remember, Elijah Harper now with Jesus, and my father also with Jesus. So thank you for sharing this short testimony of what Jesus is capable of setting free from the curses, so that we can be set free and live the freedom that God has for us. Thank you again. Amen. Bye.